Alright, thanks for joining us here on the Grand Solar Minimum channel. Today is February 2nd, 2018, and it appears, bear with me just one second. Alright, so we're back. Alright, checking out a couple of things here. Doing a quick update. I wanted to show you guys some space weather news real fast. And solar wind speeds are trending down again, and I'll show you that here. That sunspot 2697 was short-lived, about 2 days old, and then it fizzled out. So not much to look at. It actually did shrink a little bit more today as well. But I wanted to show you this scale right here. Taking a look at our solar wind speeds and density. And as you can see, we've had a downward trend on the solar wind speed all day today, and of course early in the morning last night. We're heading towards the bottom right now. We're under 320. So let's see how much lower that gets. Taking a look at our SDO, and I wanted to show you guys this really fast. Oh, that one's gone, so we'll just show you this one here. Looking at the SDO, we don't have any coronal holes or large ones to speak of right now. The one in the northern hemisphere of the sun is going to brush the top of our magnetic field, but we're not expecting anything more than just a minor brush there. So at the current moment, looking at our star, we see no large coronal holes. There's the sunspot that is not being named now. But if you also look on the eastern limb of our star, you will see that it looks like we have a little bit of action going on here, and this might be cause for another sunspot to be named. So little surprising after 16 days of no sunspots this year. This is now out of 4 days we've seen a couple of spots that could be forming into sunspots. So early in February though, so it's I just wanted to point that out real quick. Taking a look at our weather situation. This is GFS, and I'm not going to go too far into the forecast because this GFS model has changed so much over the last week that I don't find it necessary to continue to show the 15-day forecast. I think 4 to 5 days out will be helpful enough. So we're looking at the United States first, and as you see currently today, we got some light snow showers in western New York, and then we have some more precipitation in the northwest, again Idaho, Wyoming, Oregon, Washington. You guys are seeing a little bit, but other than that, it's mainly quiet right now for most of us here in the United States. Got a little action going on in the Gulf. I'll go ahead and put this in motion, and I'll pause it right here. This is Sunday, February 4th. This storm was actually predicted earlier to start on the 3rd, and now they're pushing this main event back until the 4th. And what I mean by that, here in the Northeast, the Midwest, and then you see a line of rain from Louisiana all the way up to Illinois. So a storm trying to get its act together here. Back west, high pressure system. Again, we talked about these isobars. Give me 1 second. And we talked about what those create. You know, rapid temperature change. Also, the tighter these bars are, the more gust, the higher the winds are going to be. So that's Sunday. Most of the country is getting light precipitation. We get rain in the south. That's about normal. And going through Sunday, we see the storm now getting its act together. You can clearly see the rain-snow line Looks like most of Ohio will get the snow. And, you know, it's almost kind of like this pattern right here on the 5th, on Monday, looks exactly what the setup is right now, except our storm out here in the east is a little further off to the coast. But here again in the northwest, same areas that I started off with in the beginning of this, same pattern, same moisture, rain and snow. So looking out past Monday, this snowstorm will move itself out, and then by late Monday night, round 2 comes through into Tuesday. Same areas, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, going into the northeast. We've got Louisiana and Missouri and Oklahoma and Texas all affected with a little bit of rain as well on Tuesday. And this system, now, this is as far as I'm going to take this GFS. Like I said, we've seen these forecasts 14 days out. This takes us to Wednesday. So here's a potential snowmaker, and this one has changed a lot in my opinion. In fact, just out of curiosity. All right, so I did move it up a little bit through Wednesday, and it looks like this storm, if it keeps its track, this could be a big one. This might be the biggest one we get in February, because the outlook after this, and again, I know it's not accurate, but the outlook is a lot of light precipitation as far as the form of snow comes. So this will be the system to watch, as we're going to have continuous snow from Kentucky all the way through western New York into New England. And it's going to be one of those storms where it's just going to take its time traveling up the northeast. But as far as temperatures go, I don't, you know, obviously the northeast, midwest, and northern plains of the country are going to be cold, part of this cold pattern that has set up over the North America. And of course in the west and the southwest, you guys are going to stay warm. So, anyway, going to take a look at other parts of the world. Let's take a look here for our friends across the pond out in UK. All right, so let's go and move this up a little bit so we can all see what's going on here, huh? That's a lot better. But first I'm going to put this in motion and then we'll move it back up. So you see here, like we discussed last time, unfortunately, most of our friends here will get the remains of the storms that are coming through where we are right now. And lots of moisture in the northern parts of UK. You know, the snowfall in the Alps right now is incredible, and they just continue to see bout after bout of snow out there. But you guys look like you're going to have a pretty active region as well. What we don't get, it always looks like it intensifies more off of our east coast when it's pushed off into the Atlantic. So very active pattern of weather for the next 2 weeks, it looks like. But for the immediate 5 to 6 days, pardon me, it definitely looks like that we will be getting that snow that we spoke of earlier in the week. I wanted to talk a little bit about the eruption of Fuego. This happened yesterday, reported today. I have video of it. Ash drifted up 40 kilometers to the west and southwest. Taking a look at these pictures, you know, this would make number 37 as far as volcanoes that are active right now. And I wanted to play a quick clip here. I was kind of amazed at just the sounds of what it sounds like when an earthquake is erupting. So. take a look at some more footage here. This one's got music to it here. I don't care for that. I wanted to share that.
Volcán de fuego ubicado entre los departamentos de.
So there's various reports out there. It's being well documented. And again, like I said, this is just adding on to the list of volcanoes that we have erupting right now. I do believe they have closed some schools. This is the first eruption of the year for them. It's affected 47,000 people right now. And I'm trying to see if we have anything about closures. I thought I saw in the headlines that they closed schools. But anyway, just another one of our volcanoes that have erupted. And also, there was another story that I wanted to cover real fast. This is interesting. We got a lot of folks who email us, talk to us about temperature, how hot it is, and you know, they always think that we're trying to ignore the heat in other parts of the country, but this is interesting. I will talk about this for a minute. Cooler temperatures to follow severe weather after the hottest month in 150 years. Again, it doesn't have to be cooling related. When you see these 150, 200-year-old records being broke, there's a correlation that we're going through a cycle. And New Zealand had some record heat, and now they have cooled off from that record heat. I was reading an article the other day. Actually, it says, according to data provided by New Zealand's NIWA, January was the hottest month the country has seen in 150 years. In addition, with the 3.1 Celsius above average, New Zealand just had its largest temperature anomaly on record. The country is now experiencing cooler temperatures. An ex-tropical cyclone Faye slammed into its South Island on February 1st. So now they're sitting at 68 degrees Fahrenheit after being well over average in that region for a good period of time. The entire month of January, they set records. So there you go, 22.5 is the average temp in Auckland, 22.1. So just wanted to point this out that, yeah, New Zealand definitely had a very, very hot month, and don't want to forget about that. But also being observed is these cooler temperatures now that are falling in New Zealand. And another related story that goes along with this as well was a story that I'd read yesterday about Siberia going through a 100-degree temperature swing. And when you see that, you're thinking, oh my gosh, 100 degrees temperature swing, they must be melting up there. But let's talk about the average highs up in that region that I'm talking about. In one area, the average high is minus 66. And the other day, their temperature got to 38 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, that was the warmest part of that eastern section of Siberia. There was another section that their normal average temperature of minus 44 was slightly higher as well at 14 degrees above zero. So, you know, even though these temperature anomalies, these swings are 60, 80, 100 degrees in Siberia, that just means it's still cold, but not as frigid. And in one case where it was 38 degrees, of course, you all know that's not freezing, but still that's not enough to cause any kind of, you know, panic or anything like that about melting going on. I want to take a look real quick. I like to keep track of Mr. Dr. Roy Spencer here. He has a very good chart that he puts up every month around the 1st, and it's kind of like one of those things that I can't wait to see. I'm one of those geeks that I wait for the day of this particular data set to come out, because the reason why I'm so excited about it is because this graph, to me anyway, shows that we see where the rise is, okay, the global warming period. You see the rise here. You see the graphs, the ups and downs. These are cycles. Okay. And so we get to right about 2014, 2015. We really peak out here at 0.88, almost 0.9 Celsius above the threshold of average. Now that's pretty significant. So this is where we were at February of 2016. All right. This is where we are right now. So you see the difference from this peak to this peak, and that's pretty massive. Now also this graph is displaying the downward trend now. I remember when I first started watching this graph, it still looked like it was going up. Now we see the clear red mark. It levels out a little bit, and now it's heading back down. This graph is just the beginning of what everyone's talking about when it comes to temperature anomaly. But this is the temperature anomaly of the lower troposphere. And every month he comes out with the numbers. And I think this is a good way to also monitor temperature change and swings and anomalies and stuff like that. So January, we came in at a plus 0.26. December of 2017 was a plus 0.41. Now, there's a lot of cold air in Siberia, there's a lot of cold air in Asia, and there's a lot of cold air in North America. So we'll see what happens as far as what February numbers are coming in at, because honestly, with the polar vortex and the warmer air in the stratosphere pushing the coldest air into the troposphere, we should see lower number report also for February. So I'm not trying to be sensationalist, but I wouldn't be surprised if we were close to that zero mark for the month of February 2018. I could be wrong. You know, I predicted in December that it would be really low as well, and it actually went up 0.04. So, but this is something I recommend people also when you're trying to monitor the grand solar minimum and you want to see the data of where people are talking about how we're on the decline, that the warming period is over. There is no doubt we went through a global warming. That was natural, by the way, not man-made. This is a natural cycle that we go through. And that cycle's over. And Mari and I had an interview yesterday with David Dilley, and he has a chart that shows that as well. And Mari is putting that together for us now. So when that's finished, we'll go ahead and release that as well. But we talked about the cycles. And we talked about how the graph shows a normal warming cycle and a normal cooling cycle. So, but this is good stuff here. I recommend everyone to go to it. And like I said, if you just go to our website, spaceweather.com, we have everything that we look at for our data is in our links, right? In Earth changes, you got your crop loss, which is the PDF. I do believe that updates on a weekly basis. We have USGS for our volcanoes and earthquakes. Then you go to global weather. You got a normal radar, weather.com, windy.com, AccuWeather, Earth Null, Mike's Weather, and Tropical Tidbits. Those are all of the sources that we really pull our weather data together at. And then, of course, the watchers. Now, it's not an official, #1 source of news, but I do find a lot of articles that are volcano, weather, and climate and space related that are relevant as far as people who are watching for events that happen during the grand solar minimum. And then, of course, drroyspencer.com is very high recommended. And then if you go to the space weather, now if you just click on the word space weather, it'll take you to our section of space weather. But if you come down to here where it says space weather in the box, that will take you to spaceweather.com. And then this is our TSI link, Stereo A, SDO, and then of course this is a variety of tools that measures solar wind, magnetopause. I'd click on it right now, but that channel takes a while to upload. And then of course we have Join the Discussion, which is our forum here on thegrandsolarminimum.com. Mari had consolidated the forum a little bit to make a little more sense for everyone, so that we're down to 3 sections instead of the we had almost 20 sections of different areas where you could post, but now I think it's a little bit more simpler, and so far we're still growing. We appreciate everyone's time spent in the forum answering questions, asking questions, or just posting you know, experiences or stories about what they're going through as far as, you know, their preparations for the upcoming grand solar minimum. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. I just wanted to step on real quick and do a quick update and kind of get you up to speed for the day. So we got some snow on the way, another volcanoes going off, and basically the sun is quiet right now, which is what we always expect in the minimum cycles anyway. No sunspots, no large coronal holes, no kind of chance for geomagnetic class storms at all. So pretty quiet so far today. If we have any breaking news, we'll make sure we will inform you as soon as possible. Please make sure to hit that notification bell, guys, next to the subscription to be updated on all current grand solar minimum news. We'll talk soon.